Hi, I'm Sharon Spangler. Thanks for joining us on this Council Connection. Right now I am with Dave Iazzi, and we're going to talk about the Northgate Golf Course, which closed down, 4 to 5 months ago. Maybe first off, you could update us on why the Reno Sparks Convention Visitors Authority chose to close Northgate down.
Well, the RCVA has been making the claim that it's been losing money, and they need money, so they decided to close it down. And since then, the RCVA doesn't actually own any property. The county owns the property. So it's up to county commissioners to decide what happens to that. Particularly the Northgate, though, that was given to the county, particularly for a golf course. And in the deed it says if you don't use it as a golf course anymore, it reverts back to the trust.
And the city of Reno is involved. It's kind of tricky. The city's involved because it is actually in the city of Reno.
Correct. That's pretty much the only reason we're involved right now. As of taping this second, the county still owns the property. And I've been working with Commissioners Brutternitz and Weber to try to figure out, they're willing to sell the property back. We're going to go out and get an appraisal done to see what it's actually worth. We've had some meetings with the people who live up around there. They've been throwing some proposals out. But the trust has been very nice to us and giving us some time to work on some of these issues. So it's sort of a week-to-week thing about where it is.
So I would imagine the biggest concern amongst residents in that area, number one, the fact that it's probably turning pretty brown. I haven't been up there lately. How does it look?
Yeah, it's pretty brown because the county and the RCVA, they both own a little over 200 acre-feet of water rights on there. Well, they transferred those water rights off, so it hasn't been watered in a while. And on top of that, the RCVA already auctioned everything off there, and from what I understand, some of it was the sprinkling system has been auctioned off and is gone from that area.
And then, even more importantly, people are probably concerned, is this going to end up being developed? And, you know, if I bought a house on a golf course and now there's going to be a home behind me, that would be a huge concern.
It's a huge concern, and I make the contention that the government entities, the RCVA and the county, sort of made a promise to those people. You know, this was a golf course, you bought your house on there. A lot of them paid a big premium to have a house on a golf course, not to the city or the county, but to the developer. So if that goes away, I would be certain a lot of them would come back and want property tax reductions. So it really will have an effect on the school district and the county and everyone else, I think, involved.
What do you think happened? Did we just build too many golf courses all at once? Did the economy sour and people can't afford to golf as much?
We did do a study a while ago, and we had too many golf courses in the area, but when this one was built, we didn't have too many. But then Wolf Run was built and Lightning W was built, so more have been, DeAndrea was built, so more came afterwards than this one. I'm not sure why this one wasn't chosen, wasn't making money. I'm not a golfer, so I honestly don't know, why it wasn't making money. I hear all the anecdotal people up there say it was a great golf course and it was a championship golf course, and it was, if they would have marketed it correctly, it would have done well, and the RCVA says we did everything we could possibly do, so that really doesn't matter to me right now why it failed. All I know is that's the position it's in right now.
So the company, it's a family nonprofit trust that
Correct.
actually gave that piece of property to Washoe County with the understanding that it was going to be a golf course, and now it reverts back to them. What are some of the ideas that have come up? And I know you've had some creative ideas on what to do with that land now.
Well, if we were actually to purchase it, and a lot depends on what money we would use to purchase it, the county's going to move forward and try to get some state bond money that's available, might be available in September, but if that's...
Is that the SQ1 bonds?
Yeah,
SQ1
yes.
bonds?
But that's for open space. So if you use that money, it sort of has to remain open space. I don't think you could use it as a golf course. So a lot of it depends on the funding, but there's a lot of things that you could do. I mean, I asked people to imagine what would you do with a golf course, 220 acres, if you could think of anything you wanted to do. I mean, the Frisbee golfers were the first ones that came forward. We could make it a Frisbee golf course. You could have a festival sites. I was thinking of Coachella and Bonnaroo and things like that. Some people want it just to be a wildlife preserve, sort of. A lot of deer still go there into that area, and there's so many opportunities. One gentleman came to one of the meetings and says, what we don't have that I know of anywhere is grass tennis courts. So the ideas are endless about what could happen on that site.
So basically at this point, it really depends on money?
Yeah, I think money and the will of some of the people up there. Some of them have said they'd be willing to set up a special assessment district so the people around the golf course would pay a little bit more every month on their property tax bill to help sustain that. But usually in these cases, the people who are willing come forward first. If we actually will move to set something like that up, we'll see how realistic that is, because we can't do anything without their acceptance of that.
It's my understanding that the SQ1 bonds, you have to have a matching fund with those.
Correct, and I think, I personally think that the county also had a bond question that same year, and they've got money available in that bond question that they could use as matching fund money. There's water rights the county could sell that were up there, 200 acre feet of water rights. They could sell some of those water rights as matching fund. There's a lot of areas that would not affect the county's general fund that we're looking at. I'm trying to scour the city of Reno. Do we have money like maybe from our parks district? We have already all of our existing money for parks is set aside for the top of the Keystone Trailhead that we've been working on for quite a while. But if there's any further development up there, we might make the deal with the county that we could put that money into this, if it could be considered a new park.
Now, is this this appraisal, a lot will depend on that. Do we already have a ballpark idea of how much money we're talking about here?
Well, the developers, the trust has said, we will sell it to you for $4.5 million. But we legally can't just, I don't think, pay what someone says they want. We have to go get appraisals and make sure it's worth what it is. And so we're going through that. The county is going through that step. I think they're going to vote soon to see whether Reno could be involved in those negotiations, because right now it's strictly between the county and the trust, and the city of Reno is not involved in those negotiations.
I don't remember this ever happening before.
I can't recall it either. Well, on this part, actually, it did happen once before, because with the 18-hole golf course, there also was supposed to be a 9-hole executive course. And I don't remember the year, but they decided that wasn't going to happen, the RSCV. So they transferred that land back to the developer many, many years ago, and that got developed into single-family homes.
Now, if, I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but this is a very interesting topic. If they were to designate it an area for festivals, would that still fit into the definition of open space?
I think it would, because it is zoned open space right now. I really don't know what a festival zoning would be, because those are sort of more special events. It's not year-round festivals. It would be something you do maybe 2 or 3 times a year. But for me, it would also be great. Maybe you could build something like they did at Bartley Ranch and
that's
have
what I
another
was thinking.
amphitheater up there. I know it's very windy up there many times, but there's areas that I think might be protected. It would be very, very fun just to go up there, and if we actually own the property and then start saying, okay, here we have it, right in the middle of that area up in the northwest. What could we do with it?
Great. And you have set up a Ing site?
A Ning site, yes.
Ning site.
SaveNorthgate.ning.com.
Great.
And it's a different kind of a website where it's not really owned by me or anybody else. Everyone can comment and start your own discussions. It's more like a town square, where if you want to go onto that site and say, I think it should be turned into an airport, you can go start a discussion about who thinks it should be an airport.
This is uncensored.
Uncensored. People can write whatever they want, start any discussions they want, get together, put on, if they want to have a meeting in their house, they can put that on there. Let's have a meeting at my house.
I think that's great. I think that's the way you're probably going to get the best answers to this discussion.
I like to use that, because people can't always get to a meeting anymore. You try to have these meetings and there's reasons they can't go, but you can have these discussions on the internet. And we really are moving toward that era, and if we utilize that kind of technology, I think it's really going to help us out.
Great. Is there anything else you want to add?
It's just ongoing all the time. In fact, we're taping this, the day we're taping this, the county's voting on whether to continue it as a golf course or not. So I'm not sure what's going on over at the county commission chambers. So it'll change probably between the time we started this conversation and the time we end this conversation.
But I don't think it'll be over.
No, it won't be over.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you all for joining us on this Council Connection.